Hello to all Jira admins and project managers around. My name is Dmitry Krip. I'm a content creator for Divinity. We are an Atlassian Platinum Enterprise partner and a gold top vendor in the ecosystem. Over 4,400 companies in 64 countries make use of our solutions for Agile and DevOps, including Audi, Deloitte, Cisco, and Hewlett-Packard. We believe that technology is the right way to boost your team's performance and help your company maintain business results at a global scale. Today we're gonna talk about creating issues, one of the basic actions you can make in Jira. People usually spend a big chunk of their working time in this software, and issue creation is exceptionally time-consuming, especially if you have to recreate the same epic over and over again. Of course, you can always clone such tickets, but cloning works only within the same project. To move it afterwards, you need to perform another operation, which is not simply convenient. What if you have to clone this epic several times a week for different teams? Another drawback of creating tickets manually is the human factor, which causes unforced errors and mistakes. We were curious about how strong an impact it has on our work, so we performed a small test at Divinity. With a Groovy script, we checked how many issues in our own Jira were updated right after creation. We were stunned with the result, as it turned out that 28% of manually created Jira issues are instantly updated afterwards due to mistakes made during creation. Such tickets can provide wrong or incomplete information, which then costs 2 times the price, as several people are involved into getting it right. Repetitive tasks can be described in different words each time, which makes them more difficult to standardize. What's more, new users who have never seen Jira before may find it complicated to file a ticket manually, since we all know that Jira is definitely an advanced piece of software. All this eventually causes losing money by companies day by day. The bigger enterprise, the more. It leads us to the necessity for automating issue creation, which can be done by templating common tickets. Basically, an issue template in Jira is the same type of an object as a regular issue. It is stored inside a specific Jira project and has an issue type, a summary, a description, and a set of other fields or custom fields that you may define for it. The difference is that all templates are stored inside one project selected as a templates repository and have additional specific properties. From the repository, they can be copied to any other project that you have in Jira when creating an issue. Generally speaking, templates are about applying a pre-produced form to the source material. We can trace back as far as to medieval artisans to discover they were already familiar with such a concept. A blacksmith would always have a couple of molds, and the shoemaker would have pieces of prepared skin and a stencil. Over time, a big variety of tools appeared that helped people produce more goods in less time. The technological progress enabled creation of more complex templates. This way, handcrafted books got replaced by press printing, for example. This process eventually led to manufacturing and industrial production, which is almost entirely based on templating. Otherwise, it would be impossible to build Ford Model T, let alone Tesla. Speaking in terms of Jira, such a Tesla could be an epic structure, having its bigger parts as stories and the smaller ones as subtasks under them. By applying technology, you can template and automate producing each part of an electric vehicle, as well as you can create an epic template with all the stories, tasks, and subtasks attached using the Issue Templates app. For those who have no idea what an epic or a story is, these are the issue types in Jira Software that allow to structure a team's work and break big tasks down into smaller ones. For more info, please refer to the official Atlassian documentation. The link is in the video description. In the fast-paced and ever-changing world that we live in, templates need to be flexible. A good example from our household is a cooking recipe. You basically follow a pattern, but you may tweak it a little bit here and there. Add more salt, take red pepper instead of green, stir for 5 minutes longer, and so on. If we were to plan our cooking in Jira, we could fill in a template with variables to take those tweaks into account. If we get back to the IT world, we'll see that almost every modern solution on the market provides some kind of templates for its elements. Using MailChimp, WordPress, or Hugo, you create a layout only once, which then auto-completes your form, and you only change it slightly according to the ongoing needs. Creative software, like Photoshop or Ableton Live, includes a bunch of presets for different settings, effects, and plugins available, which is a must-have for beginners, as they start using these tools faster and learn by deconstructing and trying to recreate those presets. Unfortunately, Jira doesn't feature ticket templating out of the box, so we've developed the Issue Templates app to fill in this gap and help maintain your team's performance at a high level. Before we start digging into the details, I have to make it clear that we've developed both server and cloud instances of Issue Templates for Jira, and this tutorial is dedicated only to the cloud option of this plugin. You can find a detailed demo of the server version on our YouTube channel as well. The cloud version of the app is much younger than the server one. That's why some existing features are not present here at the moment. Both versions feature abilities to autocomplete or copy fields values from a template to the target issue, add variables to make it flexible, and apply a template to an already existing task in Jira. With the current version of Issue Templates for Jira Cloud, you can also create a whole epic with stories, tasks, and subtasks under it from an epic template, which is something that has been available in the server app for a while already. The difference between the hosting options is that on cloud you cannot use existing issues as templates, specify default templates for project and issue type pairs, nor provide an alternative source for fields values. Right now, Jira Service Desk is not supported in the cloud version as well. The app's configuration is also different on these two hosting options. Let's go through the process and see how it looks like on cloud. 5 years ago, the first versions of the app required deep knowledge of Jira to get implemented, and it took almost 2 hours to configure them before the first run. Now it is much easier, as you see the Get Started page right after you install the app. Here, you can create a sample template to see how this thing works. Simply choose the template type and follow the guide. On the template storage screen, you either choose an existing project to be your template storage or just skip it. Then this project will be created automatically with the name template and the key temp. Then you will see a dialog which reminds you of the necessity to create your templates inside the repository project. By clicking through the Create Issue screen, an example of a chosen template type will be created. Then you can proceed to the next screen to create an issue from this template in another project, or cancel it and go to the configuration section. Here you choose a project where you will store all your templates, or create it right from the screen if you haven't done it while creating an example template. If you change the repository project here, the configurations will be cleared, but the issues themselves will remain there. It means that you won't have to recreate those issues if you want to restore later, but you will have to provide the specific parameters once again for every template to have them clearly visible on the list while creating an issue. Also, there is a link to the Manage Template screen inside the Repos project settings, which I'll cover in detail later on. On the UI Visibility tab, you can choose which user groups in Jira will be granted permission to create issues from templates and see the Create from Template button. Limiting access may be useful if your templates are used mostly by admins or team leaders, like deployment or onboarding tasks. If no group is selected here, it will be visible for every user in your Jira, and that's the default setting. If you create the repository project from the configuration screen, it will probably use the business project type. This type of project hasn't epic and story issue types included by default, so we will have to add those in the project settings to make full use of the app. Also, here you can change the project's name to make it stand out from the rest, and change the project type to software. This won't affect the template's configuration and will make the navigation easier. I'll show you why is that in just a minute. So this is the basic project setup, and the app is now ready to work with. I've got some templates pre-configured for this demo, so let's see how an issue template looks like on its full issue view. As I said, templates are regular issues with the template detail section added. The template name is different from the issue's summary. It is the name that will be shown on the template list when creating an issue, so it should be something descriptive to make it easier to find. A scope is a set of fields that defines which values will be copied from your template to the target issue. The default scope consists of just a summary and a description, but custom scopes can also store values from non-text fields like assignee or priority. Later on, I'll show you how to create a custom scope and edit it. As its name states, the Copy Subtasks toggle allows to copy the added subtasks altogether. Their fields values will be auto-completed as well. The example templates created from the Get Started page are assigned to the task issue type. You can create target issues of various types from them, but you can choose other issue types for your custom templates, and you should always use the epic issue type if you want to make an epic template. If you create a template via quick creation on the agility board, it will have only a summary, so you'll have to edit it later anyway. Also, you will not see the template details section on the new Quick Issue preview due to a limitation of Jira Cloud, which at the moment does not support apps and business-type projects. That's why we recommend to switch it to software, turn off the board and use the Issue Navigator with the plus icon on the global side panel, which calls the full Create Issue screen. Since the current version came out, we can also manage all your templates at the repository project settings, which I'll show in detail later on. Let's see how easy it is to create an issue out of a template. In your target project, press the Create from Template button on the project side panel, choose the issue type and the template you'd like to use. When you click Next, the Create Issue screen will open and you'll see that the values from the templates fields have been already pre-filled according to the scope you've set up. If you don't want to change anything, just press Create and you're done. Then you can proceed to the created issue. The next step to creating flexible templates is customizing them with variables. There are two kinds of variables in the Issue Templates app, static and dynamic. The static ones grab data from Jira and are replaced automatically by the system. The dynamic ones are defined by the template creator, and then the users have to put in the values themselves when creating an issue. These two types use different specific syntax. Static variables are preceded with a $sign, and dynamic ones are put into square brackets. This is the default syntax, which can be changed in the repository project settings if you need it. I will also show how to do it later. By default, dynamic variables appear as text fields when creating an issue, but you can also make it a single select field by providing the options separated by vertical bars, or even a multi-select by adding an asterisk mark after the variable's name. To make a variable required to fill in, add another asterisk after the closing bracket. Please keep in mind that both variable types can be used only in text fields like summary or description, and you cannot define specific dynamic variables for the subtasks, even though the ones used in the parent issue are inherited in the current version. If it comes to creating target issues from such templates, the only difference is the screen to provide values for dynamic variables. These values automatically replace variables in the target issue, so you just hit the Create button to complete the action. So now, we already know how to autocomplete fields values and enhance them with variables. Now I'll show you how to handle epic structures in issue templates for Jira Cloud. As I mentioned, if you don't see the epic issue type when creating a template, you have to add it to the project in the Issue Types section of the project settings. The next step is to add the epic name field to your Create Issue screen, because otherwise you won't be able to create an epic. You can do it in the Screens section of the project settings. After that, things become easier. Return to the Create screen, provide a name for your epic along with all the required fields, and create the issue. Then go to the bottom of the screen and click the little plus icon to create stories or tasks inside this epic. You can go further and add one more level to the structure by choosing a story and creating subtasks via the three-dot menu on the upper right side of the screen. Remember to have the Copy Subtasks toggle switched on and check if a scope for a subtask is defined, otherwise they won't be copied to the target issue. Now, your users can create the whole epic structure from a single template by choosing the epic issue type and the right template in under 10 seconds. Nice and easy. You will have to wait a little bit for more complex task creation. You'll see the report generated by the app stating if everything was created correctly. If you found an incomplete issue that has an equivalent template, or changed the template a bit and want to apply these changes to an existing issue, there is the Apply Template feature. You can find it in the three-dot menu on the issue view. Just choose a template, and the ticket will update itself with the field values according to the scope and also subtasks if there are any. Now, let's go through some possibilities of managing issue templates for Jira Cloud. With the current app version, you can quickly find issues created from a particular template with two dedicated jQuery functions, created from template key and created from template name. The subtasks created from a parent template will also be shown as the query result. Recently, we've moved the Manage Template view under the project settings of the repository project. Here, you have the list of all the templates that have a template name defined, so the subtasks are not shown here. You can edit properties of a template or delete it on the screen. On the next tab, you have the variables configuration. For static variables, there is a list of predefined ones, with descriptions and examples of how their values look like. You can add a custom variable by providing its name and the value. Please note that here you should not type in the $, as it will be added automatically after you confirm the action. The prefix can be changed as well to another symbol that suits you better. As for dynamic variables, you can change the syntax for them as well and choose if an empty value should replace the variable. On the Scopes tab, you manage the sets of fields to be copied from a template. All you need to create a new scope is to provide its name and specify the fields that you want to add to it. All the new templates use the default scope at first, which cannot be deleted. You can set any scope as default via the three-dot menu. It will be marked with the D button. We've also added the possibility to bulk delete all the templates from the screen by hitting the Delete All button and confirming the action. Please note that deleting a template on the screen doesn't actually remove the bound issue. It only clears the configuration so that a particular option is not available on the template list. You can restore these properties in the Issue Navigator at any moment. That was a lot of information, so let's sum it up quickly. If your team faces the challenge of creating repetitive issues, you can help them get the work done quickly and effectively with only one app for Jira. Templates reduce the amount of unforced errors and thus increase work consistency while increasing flexibility with variables. They save plenty of time for your employees and therefore save money for the company. That's why you may consider giving the app a go at your organization. Here are top 3 reasons for choosing issue templates for Jira Cloud and automating issue creation. We often hear people complaining about the amount of time spent in Jira at work. The first principle of the Agile Manifesto says that we should value individuals and interactions over processes and tools, and this is where we need issue templates. If your team often encounters creating standard tasks, you can take this burden off them by introducing a set of useful templates to your workflow. By having auto-completed fields on the Create Issue screen, users can drop in even the heaviest topic in less than 10 seconds, with all the stories and subtasks attached. Templates enforce a consistent rundown of points to be included into an issue. In effect, the chances are slim that someone forgets to add an important piece of information or accidentally leaves some fields empty. Even if such a thing happens, you can always apply a template to the current issue to fix it. The app will also help to improve performance of new members of your team. Instead of having someone teach them how to file tickets, they will instantly jump on board thanks to a selection of templates that you create for them. By performing audits of your repository project from time to time, you can improve your templates on a regular basis to ensure that they meet your business requirements and fit the client's expectations. Using the current app version, you can manage all your templates, add new variables, or change the scopes of fields under the repository project settings. Later on this year, we are going to improve the app's user experience and add a couple of features. We'll enhance the user interface by rewriting some elements with the Atlas Kit library, and most importantly, make variables usable in non-text fields, which will allow to set the due date or a reporter dynamically. If you consider enhancing your Jira Cloud with more functionalities, check out other apps by Divinity on the Atlassian marketplace. Issue Sync is the most secure way to synchronize issues between different Jira instances. The Queues app is an enhancement of default Jira Service Desk queues with cross-project support, improved usability, and security of service operations. And TestFlow is a fully customizable test management solution for building end-to-end testing processes right inside your Jira. We also plan on bringing an extension for Jira Service Desk on Cloud by the end of this year. Subscribe to our newsletter at divinity.com/support to get all the news first. Want to know more? We are blogging about Agile and DevOps at divinity.com, on Medium, and on the Atlassian community. Product documentation, information about the events we take part in, and the webinars we host are available at divinity.com/support. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow Divinity apps by the links you see on the screen to track the latest news from our company and the Atlassian ecosystem. In case of inquiries regarding our products, please get in touch with the Divinity support team by emailing at support@divinity.com, dropping a line into live chat at our support webpage, or booking a live session on calendly.com/divinity. See you next time. Bye.